How you doing? Is Mister Sinister going to get Nerf? Question mark. So, as much as I like to say I called it, let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? So basically, Kabam posted a thread. I'm not gonna read through all of it because, first of all, they're when it comes to Kabam, they have a way of spinning things when it comes to word wise. So I'm just gonna translate to you to what they said. So let's just read the first like few sentences first, just to show you how crazy it sounds the way they talked about it. So when it comes to Mr. Sinister, we are aware of a bug with Mr. Sinister's regeneration rate and its interaction with the science portion of the signature ability and the recovery mastery. Due to this bug being live since his rework release, his rework being tuned around his current application. So it sounds like they're aware, based on what they're saying, that this bug they knew since he was released when it comes to his buff. So if they knew that he was bugged as soon as he was released after the buff, why did they sell him as a 7-star? That makes absolutely no sense. And the worst part is, if they actually do know that he was broken, right? Why the fact that they were selling him, that even though they knew he was broken, they still try to sell him as a 7-star. That is just either terrible marketing, the fact they didn't know that he was bugged, or even worse, that they knew he was bugged and they sold him anyways, which is just so corrupt. It's like selling a car that is broken, even though, and then being brand new, okay? Like, oh yeah, this car is brand new, even though they know it's broken. Like, it's just so ridiculous, okay? So, let me give you my thoughts why I think he might not get Nerf, or he could get Nerf. But let's start about what I think that he might get Nerf, or not get Nerf. I mean, not get Nerf, okay? So, I've been watching DLO. He was talking about Purgatory buff. Okay, so he was giving hints. So he's basically saying that power creep do exist. So power creep do exist in the game. So basically the game evolves. Basically the champions get stronger as the game progresses, as the game gets longer. That's what power creep means. But that's just logically makes no sense, considering that I don't think we have any champion in the game that is as good as Scarlet Witch pre 12.0 before she got nerfed, or Thor before he got nerfed. Okay? I don't think we have any champion like that besides Angela or Hela, which is only possible in Incursion. So I don't really agree with that saying that there's a power creep going on in the game. Okay, and he also mentioned something about when it comes to Purgatory buff, that when he was released, it was not possible for his buff to be the way she is now, because he thought that he would be too powerful for Purgatory to be released. Like, was it 3 years ago? More than 3 years ago? Because he also said that the game has less likely, when it comes to event quests, it's less valuable now than it was, 3 years ago. That is Kabam's perspective. I don't agree with that, but that's their perspective. Okay, let me just why that does not make sense. Okay, about the power creep and then event quest being less valuable now than it was more than 3 years ago. Purgatory came out a month before Hercules. So basically Hercules came out a month after Purgatory. Okay, so basically the same time. Okay, so saying that champions are better now than before through power creeps than she was released, basically the same time as Hercules does not make any sense. Is there a champion better than Hercules right now? Yeah, you can definitely make an argument, but to say that they're much better than Hercules, I don't think any champion that is really that much better than Hercules. I mean, like way better than Hercules right now. Okay, so that makes no sense about power creeps. Okay, and not only that, they're talking about questing is not as valuable as it was when Purgatory came out. Basically, when Hercules came out, Hercules is one of the best questing champions in the game, and without a doubt, if you're gonna use your 20% revive, if you have Hercules Awaken and Max Sig, he's without a doubt the best champion for your questing revives, 20%. So that makes no sense. I think he was saying that like I think when it comes to Mister Sinister that he might not get nerfed. He's giving hints, but at the same time the logic doesn't make sense for him not to get nerfed. Okay, as much as I like to say I called it, let's just not like, you know, jump to conclusion. So I'm just going to translate to you for what they said. So when it comes to Mister Sinister, his signature ability is not working. They say it's only his regeneration, but I think it's more than that. I feel like his entire signature ability is not working. And they said that if he thinks that his signature ability from his regen is too powerful, he could get nerfed and be replaced with something else. Okay, which is really unfortunate. Okay, I just want to give you guys like a clip of what I said practically 5 months ago about Mister Sinister. So this is just a clip of me talking about Mister Sinister, about him getting nerfed 5 months ago. So let's take a look at it.
Mister Sinister is a guaranteed nerf. So you're probably thinking, I know his buff is good, but I don't think he's gonna get nerfed. And that's probably not really seeing many Mister Sinister gameplay lately, especially when it comes to incursion, is because when it comes to his signature ability, it's not working, I believe. So once his signature ability is working, he is guaranteed nerf. And I'm gonna title this video as guaranteed nerf, and hopefully they don't nerf him like they did nerf Onslaught, is because they're probably just tired of me being right all the time. It's like, we know he can't be right all the time, so we can't nerf Onslaught. So hopefully they don't nerf Mister Sinister, but I feel like it's inevitable. And I just wish Kabam, they just do more testing, that's all.
So let's see. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I just gave you a short clip. I guess I'll put it in the description, the full video, if you want to see it. I mean, it's really disappointed, like, why this has to happen in the game, And it really bugs me too when I see YouTubers are like, they have no clue what they're talking about. Rich the man, he has absolutely no clue when it comes to Mister Sinister situation and KT1. He has no clue what he's saying either. And these guys are popular YouTubers. People look up to them and they have no clue what they're talking about. And, I'm all about freedom of speech in my channel, okay? So I'm open to an argument, of course. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with you. I'm just open to an argument, okay? So some people have been making an argument like, oh, he's going to be better than he is now, okay? Because either he's going to be back to normal, like the way he's supposed to be for his buff details, or what is this? He's going to get better in terms of his signature ability being replaced for something else. So he's going to be better than he is now. Yeah, of course that's true. But saying like that is just ridiculous. And we got to be careful, like praising Kabam when it comes to this situation for something, it's their fault, okay? This only benefits Kabam, and it's not good for the community. I mean, they can just sell every time a broken champion, and then they decide to fix it, and then, yay, we'll praise them. Like, they did a good job. Of course not, you know. It's going to be at least, what, 7 months, 8 months before he gets fixed next year. He's going to be he won't get fixed until next year. So it'd be at least 8 months till his buff came live. Okay, so 8 months we could have seen how Mr. Sinister is at his full potential in his buff details. You know, I said Mr. Sinister is the best buff of 2024 without a doubt, based on his buff details. And it's not the way he should be, okay? Not the way he is now, the Nerf version of him. Basically the way he is now. So it makes no sense that people are like saying, oh, he's going to be better. Like, how can he be better when he's worse than he's supposed to be? That makes no logic sense. You know what I mean? So that's what I thought. I mean, it just seems so obvious from his buff details. Let's take a look at it when it comes to his buff details. Let's look in-game, okay? Let's see. So actually, we'll just go to the website, because if we go to in-game, it's going to be in portrait mode, I believe. And or is it portrait or landscape? One of them. And it's going to be like, it's going to be messed up on the YouTube video. So we're just going to go to the website and look at his abilities, okay? This is why I say he's just looking at his buff details. He's without a doubt the best buff of 2024, and he could possibly get Nerf. Okay. So when it comes to his regen, so let's take a look at his regen. Okay. So there's a 70. So when the opponent crits, he regenerates 70% of the damage dealt by the enemy. Okay. 70%, and also it increases by 1% per every hit on the combo meter of the opponent. Okay, he always had this, so it's nothing new when it comes to his abilities. He had this even before he got buff. But what makes his buff so good with this ability as well is while he's charging, he inflicts bleed on himself when he has a heavy attack as well, or a special one. So he basically has easy access to willpower if you have willpower unlocked. So when you combine that with his ability to regen 70% of the damage if opponent crits, as well as increasing by 1% for every hit on the combo meter, not to mention you can add his recovery rate with recovery mastery as well, that makes him super sustainable champion. Okay, and that's what I think. He's still pretty balanced. I said in my video when it comes to Hercules being without a doubt the best designed champion in the game. You could definitely make an argument that it's Mister Sinister if his signature ability actually works, but currently it's not working. When it comes to his signature ability, I think without his signature ability, like I said in my Hercules video, that he's balanced, but with his signature ability, he just makes him so OP, borderline broken, I would say, especially when it comes to his regen. So let's take a look at his signature ability. So when it comes to Science regeneration rate, when he wins a fight against Science, he gains 20% increased regeneration rate at max sig. So this is at max sig. So if he wins, this can stack up to 3 fights for each class. So 3. So he can get up to 3 of them. Okay. So if he wins 3 fights against the Science class, that's going to be an increased regeneration rate at 60% extra potency. Okay. Not to mention, when his signature ability, what else is this? Mr. Sinister starts each fight with 3 of these effects at random. This do not persist between fights and do not count towards the max passive. So this means that he can get an extra 3 regen passive buffs. So it could be up to 120% increased regen. 120% increased regen. Okay, is it likely to happen? No, not likely. But let's say most likely going to happen when you see him. He's going to have an 80% increased regen rate at max sig. Okay, 80% increased regen, and that regen could be any type of node. Like if you have a regeneration buff on you, that's going to be an extra 80% regen, as well as any debuff applied on you, he's going to regen from that as well, an extra 80% regen. On top of this thing, he already has easy access to regen. And not only that, when an opponent crits, he gets 70% of the damage of the health back. So you could see how insane his sustainability is. Okay? So he could be more sustainable than Diablo if his signature ability actually works and you win 3 fights against the science. Okay, that's how crazy that is. That's how powerful this is. Arguably broken, borderline broken. Even you can even mark an argument being broken. So it's really unfortunate. It is what it is. So I hope he doesn't get nerfed. I really would love to see Mr. Sinister the way he is when it comes to his buff details, but it is what it is. Thank you.